Some people never post photos of themselves. Not because they're hiding, not because they're insecure, but because they've already answering a question most people are still asking. You've probably assumed silence means something's missing, that people who don't post are uncomfortable with themselves, or afraid of judgment, or just don't have anything worth sharing. But the psychology behind it is the opposite. These people aren't avoiding attention. They're choosing something else entirely. This isn't about being better or worse. It's about understanding a completely different operating system. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what separates people who need to be seen from people who don't need to prove they exist. People who don't post photos don't rely on external confirmation to feel real. Most people post because seeing themselves reflected back creates a sense of existence. Likes, comments, reactions. These become proof. But some people never built that loop. Their sense of self isn't tied to visibility. They know who they are without needing the internet to agree. Think about it. When was the last time you posted something and didn't check how it performed? Most people can't resist. The notification becomes a dopamine trigger. But people who don't post never developed that dependency. They validate themselves internally. Their worth isn't calculated by algorithms. This isn't confidence, it's completion. They're not resisting the urge to post. There's no urge. Privacy for them isn't secrecy, it's energy conservation. Every photo you post is an invitation to opinions, to comparison, to being perceived in ways you can't control. Most people accept this as the cost of connection, but people who don't post see it differently. They've decided that controlling their narrative matters more than expanding it. Every image creates a version of you that lives in someone else's mind. And that version, you can never fully control it. People will interpret your smile, your location, your choices. They'll make assumptions, draw conclusions, project their own insecurities onto what they see. They're not protecting an image, they're protecting their autonomy. And the less you share, the less others can project onto you. Here's what makes them different. They're not afraid of being forgotten. Most people post because silence feels like erasure. If you're not visible, you're not relevant. But people who don't post have made peace with irrelevance. They don't need to occupy space in other people's minds to feel valuable. This goes against everything we're taught. From childhood, we learn that visibility equals importance. The loudest voice gets heard, the most popular person gets chosen. Social media amplified this to an extreme, but invisibility has power. It creates mystery, it preserves privacy. It allows you to exist without performance, without curation, without the exhausting labor of maintaining an image. This is rare, because most of us are trained to believe that if we're not being watched, we don't matter. They've rejected that entirely. They understand something most people miss. Attention has a price. The more visible you are, the more you're performing, even if you don't realize it. People who don't post aren't rejecting connection, they're rejecting the performance. They'd rather exist on their own terms than be shaped by what gets engagement. Every time you post, you're making a calculation. Will this get likes? Does this make me look good? Is this the right caption? It becomes automatic, but it's still labor. Emotional labor, cognitive labor. And the result? They're free. From the pressure to curate, from the need to be relevant, from the quiet anxiety of wondering if people care. They've opted out of a system most people don't even realize they're trapped in. This isn't about judging people who do post. It's about recognizing that silence isn't empty. It's intentional. People who don't post their photos aren't hiding. They're just not asking the same question you are. You're asking, how do I want to be seen? They've already decided they don't need an answer. They're not waiting for validation. They're not building a brand. They're just living, without the need to prove it happened. That's the difference. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If this shifted how you think about visibility, hit subscribe. There's more where this came from.